Hello, welcome back. Today we have a Momo X listener, and this one is about prom, so this one goes out to anybody whose prom got canceled by quarantine. Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay. The girls of Class 1A finally convinced President Mike and Aizawa to let them have prom on the following Friday, which happened to be today. Everyone was getting their prom dates, and we all know who wasn't getting a date. Mineta. Obviously. Nobody wants to date him. Anyways, the listener had been pretty down since no one had asked her to prom yet. She could never gain the confidence to ask anyone, so she was going to wait for somebody to ask her. But little did she know, someone was already planning to ask her on the day right of prom date. At lunch. Her soon-to-be prom date wanted everyone to know that listener would be hers by lunch, as long as the listener accepted her proposal. She was going to ask listener to become her girlfriend, and hopefully it would all work out in the end. They both loved each other, but they didn't know that they loved each other. Hey, Jiro, Katsuki, I called out as I jogged up to my two friends as they were making their way to school. They both turned to me. Oh, hey, listener-chan. Ajiro waved and I waved back at him. Katsuki nodded his head at me. Yo, have you got a fucking prom date yet? He questioned and I huffed. No, nobody loves me. I said dramatically fake cried and Katsuki snickered. Calm down, drama queen. Me and Shitty Hair just know someone's gonna ask you out today. She's not gonna tell you when and who. He smirked. I immediately stopped fake crying and looked at him. Oh, really? That's cool. So you're not gonna spill the deets, or what? No. I huffed and walked over to the table that consisted of Mina, Denki, Sero, Katsuki, and Ajiro. I looked at them as I pouted and I sat down, and Mina turned towards me. Ah, what's wrong, listener-chan? Nobody has asked me out at all. Ajiro and Katsuki lied to me. I turned to Ajiro and Katsuki, and they laughed lightly. Denki spoke next to me. Be patient, listener, jeez. Impatient is my middle name, Denki. What the frick? I pouted and I slammed my fist onto the tables. Third person. From the other side of the lunchroom, a certain black-haired girl was panicking with the Deku Squad. Well, it was just her, and the Deku Squad was trying to help. I have to do it right now, but what if she rejects me? Momo said in a panic, placing her hands on her cheeks. She's not going to reject you. Momo-chan, I'm pretty sure she really likes you too, Ochaka said, pointing up a finger. Izuka nodded in agreement. Tenya spoke up. Yes, I do believe listener has been waiting for someone to ask her to prom, so she will most likely accept. Yeah, Shoto agreed with a partial nod. Just ask her. Momo huffed and stood up, grabbing the bouquet of roses that she had beside her. Okay, I'm going to do it. Wish me luck. Ochaka and Izuka cheered and Shoto nodded, and Tenya just smiled. First person point of view. I tapped my fingers on the table and Mina looked behind me. She suddenly smiled widely. It's happening! She whispered to herself, and I rose a brow, turning around. I was met with Momo holding a bouquet of roses. She had a nervous, blushing face as she looked at me, although I'm pretty sure I blushed harder. I'd had a crush on Momo for a while now, and I swear, if she was asking me out to the prom, I would die. I mean, if she asked me out in general, I would die. Momo sheepishly handed the roses to me, and I could immediately sense the amazing smell of them. Oh, okay, she inhaled and quietly continued. Listener, I've kind of, loved you for a while now, and I was wondering if you'd like to accompany me to prom and maybe become my girlfriend? She questioned with a larger blush. I jumped up with a smile and hugged her. Oh, of course, Momo-chan, I would love to. She blushed and hugged me back, which Mino and Ajiro awed too. I could even hear Kendo and Ochaka awing from across the cafeteria. And like that, the lunch bell rung, and the Baku Squad walked up to me and Momo. See, told ya, miss. Nobody loves me, Bakugo mocked in an annoying voice, which totally didn't sound like me at all. I huffed and folded my arms, and Momo laughed slightly with a content smile. Ochaka ran over to us. Oh my god, my ship has sailed! My heart! She held her heart and fake cried, and Mina joined in with her. I shook my head and blushed when Momo grabbed my hand and started walking away. She had a slight smile. Let's get to class, dear. She smiled and glanced at me with a slight smirk. I blushed but squinted at her. Two can play at that game. All right, cutie? I hummed and smirked at her, which she blushed and turned her head. We walked into the classroom, giggling and smiling. It was going to be a good day, and it was only going to get even better. Alright, I know this one was shorter. I hope you enjoyed it still. I think that's it. So, goodbye!